What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Roelof Klop, and today I want to take a look at Black Salt Audio's brand new plugin, and it's called Oxygen. So this is a very useful plugin for a lot of different things, but it's actually kind of hard to explain what it is in like one word, because there's so much to this plugin. There's the Oxygen button, which is really kind of like an exciter type thing, which you can use on different bands, which you can choose up here. And there's also saturation in this plugin, and there's the control function over here. So there's a lot going on in this plugin, and you can use it on so many different sources. So I figured the best way to show you what kind of sources you can use it on was really just to show you. So I have this mix open from a band called Mountain Eye. The song is called My Last Winter Trail. You can check it out if you want to. And in this particular instance, I wanted to show you how Oxygen could bring this vocal to life. Because right now, we're going to check it out. It sounds kind of dull and lifeless. So let's see if we can fix that with Oxygen. Let's take a listen.
And the sun comes out, let the flames devour, so serene I have to find my arm. Entertain my demons, they dance to the scene of this fool that will soon me into.
Now, for the sake of this little video, I kept the compression on, so there's just a little bit of distressor going on first to even out the volume, and then I usually like to do my EQ and stuff like that, and then I like to really nail it down with a CLA 76 to compress it even more and to just really just keep the vocal in place and add some aggression to it with this compressor. But it's still kind of dull sounding, right? So let's see if we can just fix that with just one plugin. I say we can. Check it out. We can just first decide on like which band we want to use. Like Byte, I would say from the name that this is more like an upper mid-range type thingy, or just like 1K, 2K, anything like that. That's usually where the word Byte is used for. Then there's Presence, which I would estimate is upper mids, and then there's Air, top end, right? So let's see if we can use some air, add some air to this vocal. Let's check it out.
And the sun comes out, let the flames devour, so serene I have to.
Sounds like when you dial it up, it sounds very transparent, right? It's almost hard to hear what exactly it's adding. But when I play it back again, I'll bypass the plugin, and you'll immediately find that there's like a big blanket that's being dropped on top of these vocals. So check it out.
And the sun comes out, let the flames devour, so serene I have to find my.
Did you notice that when I unbypassed it again, it just brings it so much closer and it comes to life. And that is just the Oxygen parameter here. So let's see what happens if we add some saturation to this particular vocal as well, because I found that with the saturation you can make the Oxygen function a bit more aggressive and a bit more, well, saturated, obviously, right? So let's check it out. Let me just crank it for you so you can really hear the saturation working.
And the sun comes out, let the flames devour. So
see, now it's really starting to sound distorted, right? So you want to dial it back, but it was just to show you how much saturation this plugin is capable of, and that you should be careful a little bit with the saturation knob, because you can easily overdo that, but still it's such a useful feature because it adds so much richness to the vocal, especially if you listen to this in context of the mix, and then I'll play it and I'll bypass it during playback. You'll be blown away. Check it out.
and the sun comes out, let the flames devour, so serene I have to find my arm. Entertain my demons, they dance to the scene of.
See, it just brings the whole vocal up front and alive. I think I've overdone it a little bit because you can hear it's kind of adding some harshness or something. So that means we probably overdid it. So I'll dial it back a little bit.
And the sun comes out, let the flames devour, so serene I.
super clean top end. I love that. Another way that you can deal with it when you've kind of overdone it with this plugin is by using the control function on the left here. Let's check out what that's doing. I think it's compressing the added oxygen, if that makes sense. So that means that if you've overdone it with either the oxygen or the saturation, you can bring it under control with the control button, right? So let's see what that's doing. Let me actually play it in solo so we can hear it a bit more accurately.
Entertain my demons, they dance to the scene of this fool that will soon.
See that kind of like harsh edge that we just added with the saturation? The control knob is actually bringing that perfectly in balance with the rest of the vocal. Let's check that out in the mix.
Entertain my demons, they dance to the scene of this fool.
See, when I dialed back the control, it started kind of sounding like on the edge of being out of control, you know, and then we brought it back in control. Or I'll bring it back in control right now.
Entertain my demons, they dance to the scene of this fool that will soon meet.
Absolutely love that control. I'm using the smooth function right now. I would estimate that has like a faster attack setting, so it's really taming the transients as well. And with the punch setting, I'm pretty sure we can let some of those transients come through. Let's check it out.
So serene, I have to.
So serene. Let's listen to that.
So serene,
And now with the smooth,
so serene.
it's bringing the second part a bit more under control, like the serene. Listen for that.
So serene,
It's really tamed and under control, and with the punch function,
so serene.
bit more aggressive. It's very subtle, but you can hear it, hopefully. One more time. Smooth,
So serene,
punch.
so serene.
Very subtle, but definitely audible and noticeable. So that's control. You can really just dial in any type of like air or presence to this vocal that you want. Let's check out the presence function. Let's dial back everything. Let's go for presence. Let's see what that's adding to this vocal. Here we go.
And the sun comes out, let the flames devour. So serene.
Let's play the same trick again. Let's bypass the plugin when I'm playing this back.
And the sun comes out, let the flames devour. So serene, I have to find my arm.
It's a bit more like in the upper mids focused, obviously, because it's the presence function right now, but it still adds so much life to this vocal, right? You can hear how it's really coming close to you because there's more high-end information, which kind of gives you the, how would you say that? It gives you the illusion that the sound is closer, right? Because the high frequencies haven't died yet in the distance. So this just brings it close and it adds so much life.
Entertain my demons, they dance to the scene of this fool that will soon meet.
Absolutely love it on vocals. Let's check it out on another source. I'm gonna open another Pro Tools project. Let's see what it sounds like on bass. Okay, I've opened up another project and this time I want to take a look at what Oxygen sounds like on bass guitar. That's these 3 tracks over here. So I've done a lot to create this bass tone, right? And then it's all ending up on this bass bus over here. Let's just take a quick listen to what the bass is currently sounding like and then see if we can bring it even more to life with Oxygen. Check it out. So I like the kind of growly, grindy sound of this bass already. Let's check it out in solo. So that's without any Oxygen whatsoever. Let's go last in the plugin chain. Let's go to harmonics, Oxygen. So let's see how we can bring this bass to life. Here we go. I think I'm gonna go with the bite setting over here and see what that's adding. Again, let me bypass that because it's easy to miss when you just slowly crank it up, right? But when you just cut it off, like all of a sudden, you'll immediately notice what it's doing. So let me play it back and then bypass. Feels like the bass guitar is actually closer to you, and it feels like there's a blanket that gets lifted from the whole sound, right? It's just so awesome, and this is just the oxygen function. Now, I found that with clean source tones like that vocal from before, the saturation knob, you can easily overdo it, right? And you have to take care, and then you have to bring in a lot of control and stuff like that in order to tame that. But on like a distorted tone like this bass guitar, you can actually use a lot of saturation and it sounds awesome. Let's check it out. And that makes that bass guitar sound even meaner than it already did, right? Now let's check this out. I'll bypass this. That just sounds amazing to me. Let's check this out in context of the mix. You hear that bass guitar cutting through like it's just right there. It's so awesome. So that's the bite function on bass. Maybe we can even use presence on bass as well. Let's check it out. I've dialed back everything and now we go with presence. So it's a bit higher focused, right? I want to say around 4K, whatever. So it's not adding as much aggression as the bite function, but it's adding some nice, almost like air to the bass guitar. Let's bypass this again while I'm playing it back. See, it just comes to life, right? And now if we add saturation to the presence function, let's check that out. Awesome sounding. I love that. It's so rich and not harsh. Like you don't have to come in after the oxygen with an EQ to filter out any harshness or whatever. This just sounds so smooth by itself. I just love that. I have one more source that I want to show you guys, and that is actually cymbals. So I'm going to open another Pro Tools project again, and then we're going to take a look at how oxygens can bring your cymbals to life. Let's check it out. Alright, I've opened my third Pro Tools project. Let's check out what Oxygen can do for your cymbals. Let's play back this little section here. Sounds okay, right? But those cymbals are kind of a little bit dark. So let's see what we can do to bring those to life. Now, let me go to my cymbal bus. This is my overhead track, and then it's going into my cymbal bus. And as you can see, there's Soothe on there, and a little bit of EQ, and a tiny bit of reverb. So I want to add, just go last in the chain, so you can actually hear what Oxygen is adding without it being affected by any of those three plugins. So let's listen to this. I think I'm going to use the air function because it feels like these cymbals have enough presence already, but we'll see what we're gonna end up with. Let's listen to the cymbals in solo and let's go. See, on cymbals you can very easily overdo it with the Oxygen knob as well. So we want to stay subtle. We want to stay below 30 or whatever. Let's just play it back and see what just 23% of Oxygen is adding to these Chinas, for example. They come to life, eh? They sound so much more airy and they don't sound harsh or whatever. Let's try to add a little bit more oxygen, but then bring it under control with the control function. So let's see if we can make them a bit harsh. Let's overdo it on purpose. Definitely a bit sharp right now. Let's try to bring them under control. And now let's bypass this while I'm playing it back. It's like half your cymbal is just gone, right? I just love how that, how much richness it adds to any source tone that you put it on. It sounds really, really nice on everything that I've tried it on so far. I've even tried it on mix bus. There's actually one last function that I want to show you guys, and that is the width function over here. This is kind of like a stereo enhanced thingy that's actually very useful. And because I'm not like a huge fan of like any stereo enhancement like per se, I like to just like create my width in mix with like proper EQ, right? And proper balancing of the sides versus the middle. But this is actually a width function that I do like. Check it out on this cymbals. See, it's just bringing up the air on the sides of the signal a tiny bit. I've obviously been overdoing it a little bit to show you what it sounds like, but if you can use this subtly, then it just adds so much energy, width to your, well, whatever you put it on. In this case, to your cymbal bus or to your mix bus, your guitar bus. You can try it on so many things. Your vocal, your effects returns, anything like that. You just make it sound more alive, more full, and wider with the width function. So it's an awesome function. So these are really just some uses for Oxygen. Now I could go on and show you more things that this plugin can do, but the bottom line is that it's just a very useful little plugin that's so easy to use, and it's so rich. It sounds amazing. You've heard it yourself in this little video. So check it out. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this plugin and what you think of how I've been using it in this particular video. I would love to hear from you. And well, take care. Until next time.